What's up everyone, I'm Deanna and I'm trying to scribble my way to becoming a traditionally published author. And oh my god, we're starting draft 2! I'm so excited. Actually, I haven't had something new to type, write, edit for years because I spent so much time working on my first project. Has it been a decade? Fuck. Yeah, because my first novel, I think I put it through 14 drafts? Don't ask me how, why, what. But anyway, new start, new document, same formatting, standard formatting, of course. But I don't know, I hope it goes well. And I'm already slightly behind on my tracker. I have a tracker, I'll show you the tracker, it's pretty fucking cool. I wish I could explain how to make it, but my fiance made it because I know I can do some things with Excel, but not this witchcraft where it combines into a table and it's basically like a NaNoWriMo graph. But yeah, let's get into it. Oh wait, I forgot to explain what the project is. Project Lightwood. I spent 9 months drafting it. The tail end of the drafting process is up on this channel, but it's basically a post-apocalypse fantasy. So it's our world that gets ravaged by a magic-based apocalypse. And everyone's like, oh my god, magic's real, but also everything sucks now, and everyone's dead. And it's about a character called Molly who's trying to preserve a bunch of classic literature as ordained by her mother and grandmother, and she's trying to journey up to Oxford through a frozen wasteland to see if there's any bastion of remaining arts left over there. And on the way she meets another woman named Georgia, and it's about their experience trying to complete their journey, save more kind of art and writing for posterity, for the future generations, which they hope will exist but are not sure will survive, and kind of what happens to them. I don't want to spoil too much. I feel so giddy for no reason. Let's just do some writing, okay? Do you know what? It's actually crazy because when things are going well when I'm writing, I don't want to talk about writing because there's nothing to say. It's yeah, it's going well. I'm doing it. It's being done. So, hello, what's up everyone? I just had a shower, so excuse the wet. But, I wanted to sit down and recap for the last few days because I've been busy. I've barely been filming, but it's the 6th, which is a Tuesday. Jesus Christ. New Year's has me so fucked up. Okay, so you heard from me yesterday, Monday. You heard from me on Monday when I put out the video for week 2 of my year-long how to write a novel for beginners thing. Unconventional advice in that one. I don't know how many people are going to take it, but I actually genuinely think it's a good technique, writing sample scenes. Anyway, regardless of that, my new year so far has been Monday I was hungover, Tuesday I was recovering from being hungover, Monday... I meant the first. Okay, the first was Thursday. Thursday I was hungover. Hello, Nix. Thursday I was hungover from New Year's. Friday, I didn't let myself sleep that night to reset my clock because I literally got up at 5 p.m. on the 1st, which is a great start to the year. Good job. But then, so that day was like also a wash basically. I think I just did some like minor pottering around the house, eating leftovers, watching stuff. And then on Saturday I finally got my butt in gear. I filmed that video that came out on the Monday, and then I went to my mum's for the weekend. Having a new draft to write and like work with is so exciting, like on a computer finally, because I'm typing it up from being handwritten. Hi Nix. So that's been going like shockingly, surprisingly well. Did like a short prologue, and then, which is like a page, it's basically explaining the rules of the world more than anything, because I think that's like the most effective way to do it. And then I went into chapter 1, which is, I mean, this isn't a spoiler, it's the protagonist like mourning their mother who just died. It's basically more explaining of the rules, really. I do think the first chapter has a lot of exposition, which I'm slightly worried about. Like, it's interesting exposition to me, and she is doing stuff while all this is being explained. Like, she's, you know, kind of doing the burial process. Maybe I should bring that out more though. Maybe that'll make it a bit more actiony. Because right now it's a lot of like, oh, this is what we know to be true, and like we've seen this happen in the past, so we know this is accurate, and blah blah blah. It's a lot of like world building. But otherwise I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with the tone. I'm happy with like the setting, and like I'm making small changes as I type it up. And yeah, so I've gotten to chapter 2 now, where the protagonist, Molly's about to meet the other, I guess, co-protagonist, but really it's just like her future best friend for like the whole novel, called Georgia, which I don't know if it's weird. I don't think I've ever met anyone living in the UK named Georgia, because, you know, it's usually like the state and like a more of an American name, but maybe I'm making that up. So I might have to change that. But for some reason I'm like so married to the name Georgia, like it popped into my head when I was first writing, and I was like, oh, it's just gonna be called Georgia. Why? It's fucking rural England. Anyway, so that's what's been happening with the writing. It's been going well. Also, on Sunday, I finished my first book of the year, since I'm trying to read a book a year, and I was partway into this one, so it's not quite, but it's because, you know, it was half a week last week. So I finally finished the Night Circus. I have some thoughts. This book, when did this book come out? I know it's quite, I got it ages ago. 2012. Wow, okay, yeah, when I was in school. And that's when it was recommended to me, when I was still in school. I also read online, I don't know if this is true, because, you know, you can't fucking trust Google AI anymore, but apparently it was written as part of NaNoWriMo at the time, which is like crazy to think about, like that's insane. But it was such a cultural juggernaut once upon a time. So that's really inspiring. I think, and I don't think this is an uncommon view of this book, from like talking to other people. I say talking to other people, it's mostly reading what other people have said online. But I did feel like I wanted to like it more than I did. And it's not, like, it's a great book, I think. Like, it's very atmospheric, like very, I mean, that's why it was heralded, right? It's like this kind of, you feel like you are like at the circus. Yeah, like I think it just wasn't for me. Like I wasn't really the target audience. I wasn't really bought into the romance, not because there was anything wrong with it. I just was a bit like, like I'm not super into romantic subplots at the moment. I think it's because this is gonna sound so like fucking braggy, but I think having my own like very stable, very satisfying romantic life has kind of made me be a bit like, I don't care about reading about it anymore. Like I feel like I used to be really into romance, or like romance subplots, romance novels, like when I was younger, when I was single, and now I'm a bit like, I can read about something else, it's fine. I think the main thing, which is super ironic because I'm 100% sure that people have this problem with my first novel, and I think it's a reason that agents have cited and even beta readers have kind of been like, about. But I think this is too, like the narration is too distant from the characters, which is a problem that my novel has as well, which is like really ironic because I kept being like, I don't think it's that bad, like I think it's, because it's, again, just like with this, it's a stylistic choice, so I was like, I'm sure it's fine, like I'm sure people will read past it. And it seems like a lot of people have read past it because clearly this book is like so loved and like still gets recommended and is like still a mainstay and stuff and has so many fans, rightly so. But I didn't quite like plug into it because of the distant narration. And now I feel very like humbled by the universe for being like, oh yeah, no, people feel the same way about my novel, where it's also a stylistic choice to like tell it from a very specific point of view, from first person omniscient, like The Book Thief kind of. So I was kind of made me think like, oh, like, no, I get it. Like, and I probably could rewrite my novel to be closer to the characters, the narration to be closer in a way that I would like as well. But not right now. I can't keep editing that book. It's been so many years. I have to like write something new. But maybe if I am lucky enough to come back to it, I will do that. So that was my thoughts on that. Also, I gotta say, maybe it was because it was like, it was late and I was reading, it was like the end of the book. The spoilers, by the way, this is like the most spoilery bit because it's right at the end. Just skip here if you don't want to be spoiled if you haven't read it. And you should read it if you haven't. The bit where they brand, his name is Bailey, right? It's like Motley and Bailey kind of pun. The kid, I mean, I don't think he's a kid anymore at that point. He's like a young adult. And they brand him with the same ring that like their magician overlords branded them with. And it's like, it's obviously underlined that like, oh, he's willing to do this, like he's doing it of his own free will. But the way it was done was still kind of put me off. Like, I think the main character is like talking about the wishing tree as he's doing it because he's heating the ring up in the candle of the wishing tree, and then as he's branding him, he's like, guess what I wish for? I wish to be with the Celia. And I was like, is now the time? So yeah, there were a few things that why has it completely left my brain? Marco. There's a few things that Marco did throughout that I was a bit like sus of. But I guess that's kind of the point, like the whole manipulation of, I think it was it Chandresh? You know, the guy who was like, yeah, Chandresh, who was in charge of bankrolling the whole thing and like pulling everyone together to build the circus. The whole like wiping his mind, like I guess Marco was doing it because it was also part of the game to like keep it going, and he didn't want Chandresh to shut down the circus, and like, but it just seems so like brutal. And I know they kind of fix it at the end, getting him to sign away the rights to the circus, and then he's out of that kind of weird mind-bending loop, and then he starts to feel better, and he gets a kitten, and it's all fine. But, yeah, I kind of wish there was a bit more of an acknowledgement of that. And by no means do I want all the main characters and protagonists to be perfect people who do no wrong. Well, that's fucking boring and not realistic. That's not how humans are. But it did kind of make me go, oh, I don't know if I'm rooting for you anymore, man. Like, I'm a bit... I find that a bit questionable. But yeah, I think this is gonna sound really brutal. I think on my sheet, where I'm tracking my novels, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. But yeah, that's just such a personal preference thing though. It's one of those books that's like, oh, that's the word, right? Like, objectively, it's a good novel. It just wasn't to my taste as much as I like really wished it was. And this is what I'm reading next. I know, I'm 55 years behind everyone on everything. But then this came out, this isn't as Daily Mail Best Book of 2022. Okay, so I'm not that late. I have read Yellowface, and that's why I wanted to read this as well. I was like, oh, I mean, Oxford, fantasy, all that stuff. I'm literally 20 pages in, and so far my only concern is that this is like the 3rd book in a row that I've read that starts with a little orphan boy getting picked up by the equivalent of a magician. Like, because before this I read Mordew. So now I'm a bit like, wait, why is every book... Now it feels like every book starts like that. It's obviously not true, but I'm getting a bit like bored of it. But I'm sure it will develop a lot. And then I think I went to my shelves because I'm doing the Read My Shelves 2026 thing. And these are the novels that I've picked out for now. So I have We Are the Ants, which is from 2016. And it's about someone getting repeatedly abducted by aliens and being told they have to save the world. Like, from what I remember of the blurb. And then I also picked up Afterworlds, which is older, I'm pretty sure. 2014, so yeah. Right around the time I stopped reading. And this one is by the person who wrote Uglies. Yeah, Scott Westerfeld. Sounds interesting. It's also, I guess, slightly similar to Yellowface in the fact that it's about an author. It's about an author, and it's like goes back and forth between the book they're writing and their life, and you know, sounds interesting. I wonder if there's going to be a speculative element, because I don't think it's completely clear from this, and I'm kind of excited to find out. But yeah, after I finish Babel, I will move on to that. This also has, Babel has much smaller font than I thought. But honestly, I'm glad. I was like I wanted like a nice chunky read. So that's gonna be the next couple of weeks of reading for me. In terms of other stuff, I'm still looking for jobs every day. I sent an application yesterday. I had a coffee with a friend from school who lives in Japan now, so I don't get to see her very often, so that was really fun. And then I came home and realised I forgot to buy stuff for lunch, and I was really sad because I was really hungry. So I had to go out and do that again. And then I think I ended up having lunch at like 2:30, which is really late, and I was really like, I don't get angry when I'm hungry, I don't get hangry, I get upset. I get upset. So I was very upset. But then I ate and I felt better. And then I did all my writing and everything for the day. And today I just woke up. I've been waking up at like 7 and 7:30 because the cats are just they're being cats. But they're waking me up like as soon as Dan leaves work, as soon as my fiance leaves work, it's just like on site, they're just like, wake up. I'm currently working on reducing my scrolling time because I've noticed that I do it in the mornings and the evening and like before bed the most. So I've noticed that I do an hour and a half in the morning, which is fucked up. So today I managed to get it down to 1 hour, which I'm proud of. So then I showered, and after that I've put the laundry on and I've hoovered, and now I think it's getting to lunchtime. So I'm gonna eat, and then I'm gonna do all my computer stuff. So that's job search, writing, and then maybe a bit of reading at the end of that as well, because I'm now technically behind on Babbel. I think I calculated it. If I read every day in a week, it's 78 pages a day, which for me I think I counted as like an hour. But now that I'm behind a day, it's 91 pages a day, so it's slightly longer than an hour. But I mean, it's like an hour 10, so it should be very doable. I've done 20 pages today already, so I have like 70 left, which will bring me, I believe, to the end of book 1. So yeah, really looking forward to this. I'm also wondering if I'm going to reread any books as part of this, because I've been meaning to reread His Dark Materials this whole time, like the original trilogy, so I can read the new one, because I still haven't read the new one because I don't remember the old one well enough. Anyway, that's beside the point. Let's eat some food and then do some writing. Dude, no fucking way it's snowing. It hasn't snowed in years. Oh my lord. It's so cold. But you know what? We're on 5k already. I just opened my document to look at it to start today's writing. And yeah, we're on... Well, it's gone now because I've copy-pasted some stuff over from the sample scenes or zero draft. But it's like 5k, 5,300, I want to say. And today I'm expecting to get to like 7-ish k. But I also wanted to show like how I'm doing the setup for the typing up. So basically I have my notebook, and then I'm putting like a tab for where I've typed up to, and then every day I'm just going through counting the number of words and putting a tab for like my goal. It's pretty straightforward, but I haven't used sticky tabs since, I want to say, university, so I'm very excited. Really, I should be using the sticky tabs from like this whole deal. It's like full of them, but I kind of wanted to use those because they've been hanging around this whole time and I need to use them up eventually. I don't want to waste them, but let's just get into writing. Okay, so I think I'm done with writing for today. I think that went really well. You know, people talk about the sophomore slump, like struggling with your second novel. I mean, I guess that's also like a sales thing and publishing thing too. But I don't feel slumpy. I feel pretty good. But I guess maybe the slumpiness was more in the drafting period, maybe. But so far, I just wrote the scene where the two main characters meet. So Georgia and Molly meet for the first time. And honestly, I think I used quite a lot of my first draft, like my sample scenes even from before the first draft, with just some minor changes. And I think it's going well. I mean, it's only 7,000 words in though. That's not even a tenth of the book. I do think it will end up being closer to 90k now though, because obviously the first draft was, I think it was 61k. But now I'm fleshing it out more, and we're taking longer to get to the places, which, I mean, it makes sense. It's not that long in the beginning. I think it's going to be longer for some of the other bits, but that's a good thing because we need some meat on the bone for some of the bits, especially like the interiority. Which is funny because, I mean, inferiority, yes, I always struggle with it a little bit, but the other parts that are missing is like description, which I used to overdo. So it's almost kind of weird now where it's like, yeah, we're just doing it. Oh my god, there's a stampede of cats. Okay, well, anyway, that's the writing for today. I'm not going to do more in the evening. I have a headache like every day. It's because I'm waking up at 7 and I'm a big fucking baby. My body just absolutely refuses. Speaking of which, no jobs to apply to, so we love that. Plans for this evening, I would love to sleep. I've been playing Spiritfarer because the first time I didn't get all the way through the game, and now I'm like 75% of the way through, and I haven't played it in like a week, and I need to play it. They're saying that I also need to edit this video because tomorrow I'm going out to play D&D with some friends in the evening probably, and then it's Thursday and I need to have a video out, and honestly I might drop down to one video a week, but then I'll just be doing the how to write a book videos. I don't want to do just those. I want like some variety, so I guess I'm just gonna be grinding. Like, I'm having fun, but I'm also kind of pushing myself quite a lot with my illness and stuff. So hopefully I don't explode and collapse, but you'll hear about it if that happens. Wait, also before I forget, Babel. It's got me fucked up. No, it's good. I mean, I read my 90 pages. I might read more tonight, actually. It's really good. I mean, I knew it was going to be good. Apart from the obvious, in that, you know, the writing is brilliant and all the references are really impressive, I just hit, I got a couple chapters or whatever past it, but I went through, like, the scene where they encounter, like, street racism for the first time, and I was like, oh my god, I feel so, like, weirdly, like, glad that this is included in the book, because I feel like this is all, like, to do with the backdrop of Oxford. I think for me, like, seeing it be so romanticized by so many people is kind of difficult, because it's, like, by no means a perfect institution and place. So seeing that being portrayed, I know it's obviously a very different time period, but still, I was very much like... So, I like that a lot. There's a lot to like about the book, obviously, but that very much caught my attention, and I was like, okay. Anyway, I'm enjoying it a lot. So, I look forward to, like, getting through the rest of it and finding out what's going on with this silver stealing business. Alright, that is going to do it for today's vlog, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm just going to give you some stats as Mars closes us out here. But the current total word count for draft 2 is 7,130 words,
which means we have 82,870 left for the goal word count of 90,000, which for the daily word count that I need for that is 1,691. So making pretty good progress and hoping to be finished on time for the end of February, which is my deadline, before I start working on the next draft, which will be kind of refining and adding in my literary references, which I'm going to need a lot of because that's kind of the basis of the book. But the rest of my week is basically just going to be me filming the next video in the series for how to write a book in a year for beginners. It's going to be part 3, and it's going to be all about how to plan your book from start to finish. So this is going to be a real chonker. It's probably going to take me the whole rest of the week in time to be released on Monday. So actually am I writing myself with that, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing you guys next week as always. I hope your drafting and writing, whatever else you're doing, is going well. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all the usual things. Comment down below how your draft is going and what your goals and plans for the new year were. I think I've asked that before, but ask it again. It's still the beginning of the new year. It's the first week. Anyway, thank you so much for watching as always. Bye.
Are you sorry? No. Okay, fine.